tractor. %. Well, that's good enough. So that sounds like we. What are we down to? 14%. Probably got 35 litre tank on this. Uh, 32 litre. Oh, good guess. Okay. So off to field 17. Problem is I'm going to have to drive through town. It's probably not an ideal thing to do. Because of that. Oh, just left a scratch all down the side of that guy's car. And there's nobody here. Oh yeah. Okay, lady. You can wait. Okay, just up here, past the horse yard. There is a road on the left. That's the horse yard. And that there is the road on the left. And that there is the field we need to seed with barley. Okay, so here we are. Like that. After deciding to sell our house less than a month ago, we're probably about 2, maybe 3 weeks from putting it on the market. And this weekend, we started looking at houses in the area, not with any great enthusiasm. It's more a case of let's see what's available. Don't aim to buy anything just yet, but it's good to know what's around and what price it's at. And we kind of found a house we like, and definitely in our budget. Doesn't need a lot of work done to it. You got to remember we're really looking probably at the house we're going to. It's the last house we're going to buy. But yeah, we found this house. It's sort of, yeah, it looks kind of interesting. Not sure, because all we were doing were looking at the photos. And then Saturday we had a class, or yeah, we had an adoption, how the adoption process works for kids in foster care thing. So we went to that on Saturday morning, and then we decided, oh, let's just go for a drive and see what some of the local communities are like. And no plans on where we were going to drive, so we're driving through one of the local towns and the road's closed and we're stuck on a diversion. So I said, okay, fine, we'll just follow the diversion. And driving down the road, I said, oh look, there's a house for sale. Oh, it's the house we were looking at and are interested in. Okay, fine, let's turn around and go back and have a look at it. So we turned around, looked at the outside, and sort of, yeah, there's nothing really objectionable. I mean, obviously the former owners have now moved out of that house, so probably motivated, but the yard's not in as good a condition as it was in the photos. So we sort of, okay, well, it might be worth a closer investigation. Let's go back home and look at what's going on with the house. So we got home, looked it up. Oh, there's an open house there on Sunday. So the very next day. So we were like, well, I guess we should go and have a look at it then. So we went and had a look at it. And it's definitely not ruled out of potential for being the last home we move into. So that's the standing at the moment. We're still about 2 or 3 weeks from putting our house on the market. It turns out the former owners are 80 years old and have moved into a retirement community, which is why they wanted to get rid of the house. So and he still goes over and tends to the yard work, but not quite as often as he used to, because obviously 80 years old. But definitely has some possibilities, so that may be a thing. Okay, I'll plumb this strip. And then we'll jump over to the next row. Okay. Oh, there's going to be a tree in the way. That's okay. We'll do a U-turn and put us back to the edge of the field. Try and go a bit straighter down here. And that'll do. Might be straight. Nope. That's probably straighter. Okay. yeah, apart from that, not a lot happening in our lives. As if selling a house is not a lot. Now obviously that does mean my streaming schedule might be messed up from time to time. Currently I'm off the deadly case of man flu, so feeling a lot better now, or significantly better. Which is always a good thing. But yeah, with getting ready to sell the house, obviously there'll be showings and all the rest of the fun stuff that entails. We did have a meeting with a decorator last week to discuss how much it would cost to get a lot of our rooms tidied and ready to sell. I think the main problem is most of the rooms in the house were painted when we moved in, which is 10 years ago, so the paint's looking a little tired in places, especially having had a dozen kids run through the house. It's kind of a case of, yeah, we probably need to tidy up some of this paintwork. And that was something I used to do, or before we moved in, I would work all day and then I'd come over to the house, paint a room, go home for supper, get up the next morning, go to work, go after work, come back, put a second coat on that room, okay, that room's done, go home, have supper, rinse and repeat for I did it for about a week. Weekends, Mrs. Oso would come to the house and we'd both paint, and then we had new carpets put in and then we moved in. So that was how we did it back then, and obviously none of those rooms has had a lick of paint since then, and we've had some intrepid artists go to work with crayon, permanent marker, erasable marker, or dry erase marker on some of the walls. So we had a tree fall through a wall at one point, so the wall's patched up, but we never painted the patch. We should probably take care of that. So the house presents well. But the rooms we've decluttered are definitely looking good. We had sort of, we're going to need to move those bookshelves because they don't look quite right and they're all full of stuff. Well, we've taken 70% of the stuff out of the bookshelves, and I'm looking at it thinking, I'm not sure we actually need to remove the bookshelves from the room, because the way it stands, they're not detracting from what the room looks like. So it's it'll show well because of that. we've got the office left to do, and I think that's probably going to end up as a two-stage process. We'll declutter the room, and then I've sort of built some cabinetry and set it up around the walls. Well, if we declutter everything, then there should be less in the stored in the cabinets, and at that point we'll be able to move the cabinetry downstairs into the garage for a while. Now, there's still boxes in the garage, but frankly, when somebody goes to buy a new house, they don't look at the garage and say, oh my goodness, it's full of boxes. They usually look at it and say, oh, it's full of boxes. Yeah, there's, our garage at home looks like that. But when they look in a room in a house and see piles of boxes everywhere, it's a case of can't see past the boxes. And what you want them to do is to look at it and say, oh, there's a sofa, there's a love seat, there's a chair. And it doesn't make the room feel cramped, so hey, yeah, not too bad. And you don't want the rooms to feel cramped, because then people look at it and say, oh, this is small. How are we going to get our stuff in? Now, it's one of the cheats that builders in the UK do, is they actually contract with furniture manufacturers to make furniture 7/8 standard size. So you walk in and you see, oh yeah, there's a sofa, there's a love seat, there's a chair, there's a coffee table, there's the TV in the corner on a cabinet, and you think, yeah, that looks quite spacious. And then when you come to move in, you put all your stuff in there and think, oh, this is a bit cramped. I don't remember it looking like this in the show house. And it's sort of, well, yeah, because the furniture they had in the show house is big enough to look right, but actually isn't standard size, and so it fools the eye. Same with the beds, they're a little bit smaller than a proper bed. Oh, the rain's getting worse. Actually, we could turn the blinky lights off. I think for the most part the rooms we've done so far are going to present well. We've got some furniture we need to get rid of, and I think the plan there is to get most of that taken down and put in the garage, which might mean that we're not going to be able to use the garage for a couple of days, and then we'll call someone to take it out. Now, there are various folks that will take your stuff away. Some are charities and some aren't. And so, yeah, we'll do that. But the problem is they won't. A lot of them won't take stuff if it's upstairs, and because all of our house is upstairs from the front, we need to get it all downstairs. Although I did point out, since we've had a back door installed, if they could drive around the back of the house, then there's no stairs involved. But that may or may not work. Plus, it would probably be easier for us to do things like dismantle the beds that we're getting rid of, or we're planning to get rid of, and put them in the garage rather than having them in one piece. And if we can dismantle the beds and take them out, put them in the garage, then I can start cleaning carpets and stuff like that in those bedrooms. Coming up on 11 o'clock. The weather is really bad today. Weather. Come on, that one there. So we have a 100% chance of rain for the entirety rest of the day. 10% until 6 AM tomorrow. And then it should clean up for the rest of Friday until Friday evening. 60% chance of rain on Friday. Don't know how. Oh, that's okay. So until midday it's dry, and then Friday afternoon onwards, or Friday for the rest of the day, it's going to be 60%. Saturday 40, Sunday 70, Monday 60, Tuesday, Wednesday it's going to be clear. So if we're getting into harvesting time, that's when we're going to need to be harvesting. So we do not have a good run for the remainder of the year, or the productive part of the year. Today, can't remember what today was, must be Thursday. So Friday is the end of summer. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I might try and get harvesting done as best as can be between rainstorms. We're not going to be able to harvest when the ground is wet, but we will be able to harvest if the ground will get dry. Which could be a big if. I also want to clear out the what is it? The on-farm silo of at least most of the stuff that we haven't grown so far, so that we can better gauge how much money we make from the harvest this year. I may have to go back and watch my first round of Old Stream Farm and see what the income from all the fields was when we did that, and then see if there is a difference in yields with, obviously we got 3 rounds of fertilisation plus theoretically bonus yield because all the fields were fallow, so every crop is at a plus 20% yield from that. Don't know how much of a difference that makes. Oh, we finished the contract, okay. And collect, there we go, we got some money. So, 2 fertilising, lots of baling. There's going to be no baling for a while now because weather. Go back to the map. We are here. Actually, follow the farm track off to the left. And then follow the road up past the BGA. It'll keep us out of traffic for the most part. This is quite impressive rain though. Oh, that's the BGA. Ooh, there's an entrance at this end too. There we go. Okay, we should be coming up to the road with the turn right to the village, turn left for the sawmill and the rest of... Actually, I think that pathway there on the left leads up to the sawmill. And here's the main road into the village. A nice looking crop on the left there. It is nice that the buildings don't leak anymore. Okay. I think what I'm going to do now is do a little bit of a check in here. Oh. So we left some straw in this trailer. It is empty. So, and that was pretty much what we expected it to be, because the map's not seasons ready. That was loose straw in that wagon, and so there's no snow mask on any of the buildings. So any loose straw in that, or loose hay in that building, was unprotected. I'm going to stick this in here.